but you pay it forward, and you pay it forward with, Zhang. So should that fight happen, they're sort of teasing. Is it definitely going to be Deontay Wilder? Because they're teasing it that it could be him, or they both could be on the card fighting other opponents. Is it like signed, sealed, and delivered?
Our side of the contract is already signed, so we're waiting for Deontay Wilder. So everyone's talking. Shelly Finkel, his manager, is talking. But I'm not hearing from Deontay Wilder. So if I don't hear from Deontay Wilder, I'm going to assume that it's not going to happen. But just sign the contract and make the fight happen. You have a reputation not avoiding anybody, so don't avoid Jalay. We want this fight. We want all smoke. We want Bomb Squad to bring it. Let's go. Bomb Squad versus the Big Bang. That's the fight we want. That's a fight that the fight fans want.
Well. Those were the words of Sean George, the coach, trainer of Zhilei Zhang. And shout out to October Red for the interview. The full interview will be in the description. And as we heard Sean say that they've already signed their end. They've already signed their portion of the contract. So there is a contract between Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang. Okay. And let me do some counterpunching. The teasing, there's no teasing. It's a yay or a nay from the sides that are offered. Okay. From each side, they're offered a certain amount of money, and it's either going to take it or they're not. Okay. It's simple as that. And Sean George brought up a good point in a way. He said, well, if Deontay Wilder he has a reputation of not ducking fighters, he should take the fight and uphold his reputation. That's the fight that people want to see. That's the fight that he wants to see. It's a fight that Zhang wants, but does Deontay Wilder want it? Okay. And let me counter that for a minute. I think the reputation is not him ducking people. The reputation is people ducking him. And I don't believe any of this shit, really, honestly. I think Deontay Wilder has made a narrative and created a narrative due to his friends on YouTube, that have channels that, that share the narrative, that exploits the narrative that people duck him. But I don't think that's the truth. I think Wilder, the more you convince people that no one wants to fight you, the more the public will think that you're feared. And that's not true. Hell, he just fought Joseph Parker. You know what I mean? And Joseph Parker, has he been known for ducking people? Not lately. He didn't duck Wilder. And if he's talking about that old ancient AJ negotiation back and forth stuff, we have receipts on each and every one of the offers that was sent to him. Now, see, when you tie all that in from guys like Anthony Joshua sending contracts, now Zhilei Zhang, who else? Really, there's no one really else that sent Wilder a contract. See, the Saudis sent Wilder a contract to fight Zhilei Zhang. And if he doesn't fight, if he doesn't sign that contract, he shows that he doesn't want to fight Zhilei Zhang. If he's that caught up on fighting Anthony Joshua, the only thing that we can view Deontay Wilder as is absolutely delusional. Okay? And there's many reasons why. For one, if you're worried about fighting AJ, you didn't uphold your end of the bargain. Okay? You have to prove to yourself that you still want it. So you have some stuff within that you have to deal with. Okay? And I think the first things first, you got to fight Parker again. And Parker, I don't think he's against the rematch or anything like that. But the problem is, if you went out publicly and said you don't want to fight Parker again, you want to fight AJ, well, I think that's unfair to Parker. You guys know how I feel about that. And then see, if AJ beats him, everybody's going to run to his aid again. Oh, he wasn't ready and he wasn't this and he wasn't that. We wasn't saying that about Anthony Joshua when Joshua got beat by Ruiz and, hey, how about he fight Deontay Wilder? No, he has to fight Ruiz. So it's equally fair that Deontay Wilder has to fight Joseph Parker to get his stripes back. Fighting Zhang is just a clever way not to go where you've been, because he's been with the devil he knows, and the devil he knows, I don't think he likes. You know what I mean? And that's Joseph Parker. I don't think he wants that fight again. So if he wants to fight someone else to show that, hey, he's not washed up, he's not too old, he's not past his prime, he still has it and all that stuff, he needs to fight Zhilei Zhang. And I've told you guys that. And it's a strategic way of getting where you need to be. And Zhang, they've already signed it. Zhang wants the Wilder fight. Sure, there's other fights that could happen, but understand this. Wilder has to face the music. If anybody has any type of question about Wilder, we will see it in his actions. So all this talk about AJ, sure, it's entertaining, but it gets redundant when you got a guy that took out the boogeyman, Joe Joyce, Zhilei Zhang, has signed a contract to fight you, and you refuse. Okay, so that's what you need to deal with. Now, if he's pondering and thinking about it, if he has a time limit, I get that. But ultimately, you have to make a decision, because if you don't make a decision, that means you simply ducked Zhilei Zhang. And why did you duck Zhilei Zhang? It doesn't look good for Wilder. But here's the thing. If he fights someone else, yes, it will mean he ducked Zhang. But I can understand if he has to get cobwebs out, if he needs another fight, because I think humbleness and recognition is important. What do I mean? Well, for one, it's just him showing that, hey, Zhang's a dangerous opponent, and respecting the fact that he's a dangerous opponent. And I don't want to go into a fight like that with a guy like that when I'm doubting myself. I don't know if I have the killer instinct. So why would you want to throw him in there with Zhang? That's probably just as worse of throwing him in there with Joshua. So, we have to be considerate of these fighters and where they're at in their career. I did a rant last week about Malik Scott, but, I was sincere in that, and I was serious, because you can't be this killer and you can't boost this guy's head up when you can clearly see physically he may not be ready because of hopefully inactivity. But if they bring up all this other stuff like killer instinct or the love of boxing and all this stuff, well, you have to see if he still has it, and he has to get some confidence back from somewhere, and it won't be against somebody that's top 10. You know what I mean? But that's all about self-recognition and humbleness to let him know, like, hey, man, I'm not ready for these fighters right now. I need to take my time and, get my bearings back, because I need to get active before I go into a fight like that. That only makes sense. But someone with the ego of Wilder probably won't admit that. So we're back to this. Fight Zhang, or you are considered a ducker. Duckaroni! But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Sean George stating that he, Zhilei Zhang, his fighter, has signed the contract to fight Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. They're waiting for Wilder to respond. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!